welcome back to the two of you that came back. And again, no comments during the intro. That does seem to be a little bit of a trend that is going on now. It's like a little kind of protest out there. But anyway, guys, the weirdest shit just happened if you were just watching a go. Anyway, if there is anybody watching, it was here just a second ago, which I doubt there is because there are only two people now, although I'm guessing one of them is going to be Nancy. There you go, Nancy. You're going to say hello. Let me know that you're here. What about ATN? Kali Ninja, or any of the other people that were watching? I do not know, but that was the most bizarre thing that happened just a few moments ago, and as I said, it doesn't seem that anybody's watching again, or maybe people have given up on that. But in the midst of my little presentation I was just doing, and I'm doing this for the benefit of people that are watching it in the rerun, because as I said, at the minute I've only got two people watching, it says, but I was just in the middle of a live stream. We were talking about Project Bluebeam. Is it, like, you know, COVID a big cover-up, showing you some evidence in articles and some reports and some recent UFO sightings. And then in the middle of one of those UFO sightings, I happened to be typing about some military air bases around the town that I live in, the county in which one of the UFO sightings was shot and captured on film recently. And lo and behold, the stream stopped. Then out of nowhere, it closed my app down. Like, it just threw me out of the app. You know, normally when you're using an app, you have to kind of click to go backwards and backwards. I don't even know I'm talking to anyone right now because no one's watching or reacting or doing anything. But the app just closed itself down. It took me right back to the home screen, and then a couple of seconds after that, the Chromecast on my TV, because I have a TV screen that I cast the stream to, so I can kind of read your comments in the background, and I also have my computer here. My computer just shut itself off, right? Literally shut itself down. Like, didn't sort of jump out of the app, it just closed itself down. Thanks for coming back, Kali Ninja. As I said, I'm sort of getting a bit miffed by some of the behavioral patterns, not only from the algorithm, but it seems like, you know, once upon a time we used to do the intros and people would show up and say hello and chat and do this sort of stuff, and now it doesn't seem that anyone's paying attention or talking. But that was very strange, and even more strange the fact that everything stopped. It wasn't like I'd had a glitch. It wasn't like there was any Wi-Fi or there was no signal. It's like the app literally froze itself, shot me out of, like, shut itself down completely. My computer turned itself off, and then as I said, the Google Chromecast that I have on my TV, that reset itself. So all my kind of technology that I was using to kind of keep a track on this stream literally shut itself down. Now, I don't know if or not that is some sort of targeted individual attack there, that they like, oh my god, like you're saying, Kali Ninja, they maybe not wanting to show this information, and we just had like 15 people watching in the last stream before it got shut down, and there was even an individual that said this had been shared to a couple of a few of his groups and pages on Facebook. So if or not this was getting a lot of view, and I doubt it is, you know, I'm shadow banned to fuck, Kali Ninja, you know this, my friend. But I was going to kind of try to start the stream off again and see if we got anybody that was willing to sort of come back, and then I was going to try and show you the rest of this presentation I had made. Lucky enough, because I did just edit it this afternoon, I've still got the little segment, so I can just pull the last part of that presentation, which was the recent UFO sightings that have been out over the last few months. So maybe I'll put that on and a few people might show up, Kali Ninja, and we'll get this out one way or another. Hold on a second. What happened there? Alright, hold on.
Texas. What's that in the sky over?
Hey, Daria Zarina, welcome. I'm intrigued. Yeah, well, you would have been even more intrigued if you were around a couple of minutes ago. I don't know if you were watching or not. Hang on a second, I can see something. I need to align my... There we go. I think that's better. Oh, no, it isn't. Sorry, I'm just getting the presentation ready. Right, so anyway, Daria, as I was just about to say, I was streaming, I started a stream an hour or so ago, and I was doing a little bit of a presentation. I pre-recorded part of the show to put in show some relevant articles and some information, and also recorded the segment which we are about to show now, which is some recent UFO sightings. But as I was just saying to Cali Ninja, I don't know if or not you were listening or paying attention, or if you just showed up, the stream shut itself down. My phone pretty much kicked me out of my app, my computer turned itself off, and my Google Chromecast reset itself. So interesting weird stuff here. I almost wish I had a sort of camera recording me doing the stream that would have caught all that behavior happening as it did. And then the other weird thing was that the computer turned itself back on again. Very interesting. But anyway, this is the little segment that I had pre-recorded as part of the presentation that I had planned to bring you in one show in earlier, and then we were going to probably talk a little bit about it before, but we had quite a few people watching, or quite a few people from my standards in recent weeks and months anyway, and maybe that is why the Google algorithm or the YouTube algorithm decided to shut me down, and we were talking about being targeted individuals just yesterday. So I've just showed up. So okay, well, welcome, I'm glad you are here, but that was some very batshit crazy goings on there, because ever since sort of October the 1st, I think there's been quite a few community standard amendments and updates, especially on Facebook. Both my personal account and my TSP account have been struck with Facebook jail time, and yesterday, believe it or not, the memological warfare live stream got targeted for copyright strikes. So Kali Ninja, maybe you're right, my friend. They don't want me showing the information that I'm showing. Well, that's a good idea, Daria. Full screen will probably be better. So excuse if there is a little bit of poor sound quality with some of these recordings and images, but this is some stuff that has been recorded and captured over the last, like, sort of maybe 4 to 6 weeks.
Kansas. That is the strangest thing I've seen as far as aviation. 3-1, flight runway heading, clear for takeoff. Every day at an airport restaurant in Amarillo, a motley crew of airplane buffs sits
You guys can
down
hear
and
okay, I
looks
hope.
up.
Can you hear okay?
Junkies. They love it.
And they see things you can't see anywhere else. Military aircraft cruise over Amarillo like sharks looking for big fish.
If you're flying east-west or north-south across the United States, you can probably fly over Amarillo.
A group that might be called the Interceptor Club watches everything military that flies over. But back in March, they spotted 3 craft they'd never seen before, about 6 miles up.
We had captured something completely unique.
A triangle, like a stealth bomber, but not a stealth bomber.
The back edge was flat, like a Dorito. It wasn't jagged.
A few weeks later, the same shape was snapped by another spotter in Kansas.
This is when we first saw it, flying in formation from the back side of the airport.
Steve Douglas is something between an aircraft enthusiast and a fanatic. He's sitting in what he jokingly calls Kitchcom, a nook of his kitchen crammed with electronic gear to monitor aircraft traffic. He's got a special antenna to pick up satellite transmissions.
On this side is high-tech and wires and NORAD. On this side is blenders and microwave ovens and dishwashers and food.
On the day the mystery planes were spotted, Douglas recorded air traffic controllers giving the aircraft a clear lane through the sky. The Air Force confirms nothing. Now he suspects the triangular shape may be a stealth transport.
You could put a dozen or so Navy SEALs in, fly them over Pakistan or Afghanistan or whatever stand, and, you know, have them bail out the back or be inserted in some way without an adversary being any the wiser.
At the Old English Fieldhouse Diner, waitress Erin Williamson has become one of the group.
Every day, at least 4 or 5 days a week, they watch the planes, take pictures. They'll let us know if there's an important or cool-looking plane coming in.
The patches on the wall show all the military pilots who've stopped for lunch. along with a movie star or two. On this day, 6 Air Force trainers landed, a special ops plane from a nearby airbase buzzed, 3 Air Force tankers passed at 6 miles high. No Dorito, but eyes are peeled.
That's fucking branched off into 2, isn't it? Yeah. Oh my god! That's branched off into 2. That was 1, now it's 2. Fireworks don't do that, or flares. What is that? They don't do that. That was 1, wasn't it? If that joins up as a whole one again, I'm going to be freaked out. It's going together. Look at it. What the hell is it? That's being controlled. That is bizarre. Look at that. The other one's disappearing, look. See it? It's disappeared. I better come back then. Hey? That's fireworks.
What is that?
Yeah, but fireworks don't act like that. Do they? What the? That's bizarre. Yeah. That's some special fireworks. That's bizarre. But it looks like it's flying around though, under control. Look, it's come back, the other one. Fireworks don't act like that. That's like, they don't go down and up. They don't go down and up. Do they? Look, the other one, I can see them flashing. Let's see it. Did you see it then? It's flashing up there. Fireworks don't stop and then stand still. There it is. You can still see that little white light. You see it? Shit. That's gone horizontal. It just vanished. It's still there, the little dot. That's bizarre. Oh, that's the, no, that can't happen. It can't just stop and then do that again. Can it? There's something weird about that. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. I'm recording it anyway. People believe me. It's vanished again.
Yep.
There it is. There it is. It's moving. It's a white light. That was Tina text me. You've been gone for 3 hours. That's calm now, isn't it? Was it?
Look, the whole street's fucking stopped. There's a fucking flying spaceship. What the fuck? Look. I got it parked for this. Yo, what? No way. Yo, look at that. Look at everybody in the highway right now. I don't know, bro. Ni idea. A mí no se mueve de ahí. ¿Eh?
Oh my God. No puedo creer. Mira, he tenido que parar aquí en la, ¿cómo se llama? En la pista, en la carretera de la 21. Hay un ovni, un ovni. No lo puedo creer. Oh my God. Mira, un ovni. Sí. Oh my God, no lo puedo creer. Dios mío, ¿qué estará pasando? ¿Qué será, Dios?
Everybody's stopping and stopping their cars and literally to record the shit.
Do you think aliens is coming to fucking Earth? I mean, if they did, I wouldn't be shocked. 2020 is like not shocking me at all
Anymore, right?
Look at everybody like stopping because they see these fucking UFOs. Everybody's like getting out their car right now, recording this shit. So you were right.
I know what I was looking at, bro.
You was like, yo, what the fuck is that? I'm like, bro, that has to be a fucking balloon.
A
Like, it's no
balloon,
fucking
bitch. I
way.
was like,
There's no
blinking.
fucking way. That was a. I guess it is though.
Wow.
These aliens have had enough.
Okay, it's 2020, bitch.
Look at everybody getting out their car to record the aliens that are coming to Earth. Can you turn this music off? You gotta hear this shit.
Yo.
This is serious. It's a really good view of that shit, bro. Yo, what the fuck
That's
is?
what I'm saying.
Yo, what the fuck is that? No,
That don't look like-
no,
that look-
deadass. That shit looks crazy.
That looked
What
like
is
some
that?
shit off Lilo and Stitch, bro.
Yo, what
I
the
don't give a
fuck is that,
Y'all can get the fuck.
bro? What the fuck is that? I think somebody go outside your fucking house right now and look out the window. They're mad as hell.
They wanna
Do you not see what the fuck is going on, bitch? Do you not see what's going on? We about to get fucking killed by aliens.
They could go around. Go around me. It ain't no
So
balloon.
I'm not sure if they are putting this up to like spook everybody because like you don't even know what to expect 2020 these days. I don't know, but that shit looks different in the sky.
Yeah,
That's
that
all
shit
I'm saying.
literally looks like some shit off Lilo and Stitch.
That shit-
Like,
Yeah,
for real. Like, that shit was crazy.
bruh. So I don't know. Turn y'all TVs on, go outside, see if y'all can see if y'all see any UFOs outside. But that shit, we're in New Jersey right now.
There's another one, look. There's another one coming.
Yo, I think we've lost the stream. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulty. My apologies. Thought we were getting shut down for a minute then.
No, it's not one. They're more of an oranger color. No, it's a star. The last one is coming. Look, he disappeared. He disappeared.
Mira, he tenido que parar aquí en la, ¿cómo se llama? En la pista, en la carretera de la 21. Hay un ovni.
Look, the whole street is fucking stopped. There's a fucking flying spaceship.
That makes a change, Cali Ninja. Normally, recently, the audio's been shit.
Look, everybody in the highway right now. I don't know, bro. Espera, ni idea. A mí no se mueve de ahí.
Bro, everybody's stopping.
Circle of smoke apparently appeared in the sky of Ciudad of Rain, Sonora, confirmed local media in the purest style of a science fiction film. The newspaper Vanguardia details that a photographer managed to capture the phenomenon that floated over the Monte Carlo neighborhood. It is an unusual smoke circle, which caused a stir in social networks, as some people considered that it could be the sighting of an unidentified flying object, UFO. Other netizens believed that it could be a paranormal manifestation, and there were those who said it was a warning of the apocalypse. The funny thing is that in January of this year a similar phenomenon was captured in Venezuela, and it appears on the YouTube platform with the title, "Strange Smoke Ring was sighted over the sky of Guanare." So far no authority or company has given any statement about the origin of this strange phenomenon.
Right, guys, I think that concludes that little part of the presentation. So let me remove you there. Sorry, here's my little microphone. So Cali Ninja and Daria, yeah, there might be something to do with the pitch. I'm just using, this is my microphone. I don't know if you can see it. That's all I've got. It's a little tiny quirky karaoke mic, but I have been having lots of audio issues lately, and I keep my mic plugged in, but it was kind of next to my computer, which the fan was on. That might have been what you heard. But also I use a screen recorder. I kind of record the clips to screen roll, and then I kind of edit, screen record and then edit together. So sometimes when you do screen, it's a little bit like when you kind of used to be back in the day, you'd put the tape cassette next to the radio and you'd press record and try and get your favorite songs off of the radio that way rather than buying them. So I think that's a little bit of a similar sort of issue there. But I do have like an editing app, which is a free app off the Play Store. It's nothing fancy or like that, and it doesn't really have any sort of option You can make it quieter or louder. You can't make it any louder than the original original volume, but there's no sort of options to the treble or the pitch or anything like that. But welcome back if you did stick around. So yeah, that's probably a little bit of an issue this going on, and I do seem to be getting a lot of audio issues from YouTube. It's very strange. We had like 15 people watching when we got shut down in the last stream, and only sort of 4 of them have managed to return. But that was a little bit of a montage of some of the stuff that I have been putting together over over the course of the pandemic. I've put a series of, this would be the 5th or technically the 6th Bluebeam video I've put out over the course of the pandemic, although this is kind of was a 2-parter. I did start the stream before it got shut down, and then I kind of started up to try and get the end of the presentation, which was the UFO sightings from the last year. But there's been a lot of stuff going on over the years, and Q John mentioned something being military, former military, that these look like they might be leaked videos, and sometimes, you know, things don't leak unless that they were meant to. Nobody blows whistles that aren't meant to be heard. So are NASA, are the military, are the DOD, are they kind of allowing these videos to surface to serve a purpose in enforcing that alien invasion sort of mentality, getting us used to seeing strange aircraft, getting us used to sort of realizing that maybe asteroids might have consequential impact if they do come near us. We've heard all of this over the course of the pandemic time, but it's kind of hidden away. In any other time of the world, if the Pentagon and the Ministry of Defense and some of the other sort of big defense agencies around the globe announced in the declassification of UFOs, that would be a big deal. But under the smoke screen and the clouds of COVID-19, where everyone's like, should you wear a mask? Don't wear a mask. Vote for Trump. Don't vote for Trump. Be BLM. Don't be BLM. Be Antifa. Don't be Antifa. Everybody's divided. But all this shit is going on in the sky. There's lots and lots of stuff that's been going on each and every week, every month. It seems that there is one sighting or another asteroid. Now, something that last year I actually put out a video about some asteroids in relation to Project Bluebeam, which sadly they're not on my channel anymore. I had to sort of delete a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff has been removed by YouTube, just like earlier the stream when I was showing this presentation of the UFOs that you just saw got me shut down. Was that because I'm a targeted individual? Is it because they don't want these videos to be seen? Who knows? Or was it just a glitch in the matrix? But some of these events are a little bit strange and a little bit peculiar, and especially when you're kind of in the middle of sort of doing a presentation about such sort of technological advancements that may or may not be able to just shut you down on a whim once you start talking a little bit. Because bear in mind, you know, I'm using an artificial intelligent device. It's a robot here to put together this presentation. All day I've been recording on the phone, I've been editing on the phone, I've been looking for stuff, you know, content searching. So the phone's pretty much got a good idea of what I'm doing, and now it obviously realizes that I'm in the middle of a presentation, realizes that all of a sudden this guy's getting a few more views than he normally does. Let's shut that shit down. But we overcome that, we got back in. But Daria, you're making some very interesting comments about the DARPA insects. I've been fascinated about the insect drones, and again last year some content that isn't no longer on my channel. I put some stuff about the DARPA insect drones in there, researching that in regard to the Transformers, the cartoon toy line that's very popular in movie franchises and stuff like that. But back in the 80s they had the Insecticons, and they launched the Insecticons in one episode out into the farm belt, and they kind of polluted the crops. This was back in the 1980s in a fictional Saturday morning cartoon, and like 30 years later, DARPA is spending $45 billion a year researching this, as well as giving out grants and funding to anybody who can come on board and bring this stuff out. So at the time I heard the murder hornets were being launched in and amongst the pandemic chaos in the early part of this outbreak, first thing I thought of, insect drones, the swarms. DARPA, this is how they're going to spread the virus. They're going to just spread out all these insect drones, little robotic AI devices, and they're going to have a very tiny little dose of the virus. And just this week, actually, hold on. Just give me a second. Hey, Laurie, glad to see you. I'm going to unplug the. I'm micless right now. Can you hear me as good, or is it worse? I just wanted to take it off because I got to do something. Don't know if you can see that. Dara, I found this in my front yard nearly 10 days ago now, and it was a grasshopper. The video's on my channel. Go back. I uploaded it on Monday of this week. And I found it, I think, on Friday in my front yard, and it was kind of moving around a little bit, but it looked as though it had some fluid. You can, not as good, but I still hear you. I can put the mic back in if that's better for you. But anyway, I found this little bugger on my front yard lawn over a week ago, and it was sort of still a little bit moving around. Dari left. Oh really? That's a shame, because I was showing this little thing. I told her she needed to stick around, but anyway, yeah, I found this little bug, if you can see there, on the yard, and even now I've dissected it and pulled it to pieces, it still has not decayed. It showed no sign of decay or decomposition. And actually, you see, it sounds like metal. I dropped it on the floor, now I can't see. But that was a shame that Daria left before I showed her my example of my murder hornet. But it is still very, very, very strange that after 9 days and being pulled apart, there's absolutely no sign. Look, that's still as green as the day it was alive. And even when I did pull it apart, it seemed hollow on the inside. But that video is still on my channel, available to watch, although only 30 of you have watched it. Don't know why. Maybe you didn't get the notification. Maybe it wasn't for your particular taste. The fact that maybe I found a secret governmental agency research secret project drone on my front yard, and if or not you find it weird that a bug that was dead a week ago is still not decomposed and still is very, very kind of not soft. Glad you watched it, Laurie, but it did something that I do seem to be noticing, and why we're trying to, or why I'm trying to say we, it's not like a collective effort when it does come to put in the shows and these presentations and stuff like I've been doing. But that's kind of a little bit of what I'm trying to do with the live shows nowadays, and why I'm kind of trying to put together a little bit of a pre-recorded part, rather than make a video that nobody's going to watch, or maybe they're going to watch like 20 minutes of, or not even that, maybe 20 seconds of, and sort of leave a thumbs up and a random generic comment to make it look as though they watched it. That maybe if we incorporate that in part of the live show, then you've kind of, I'm not saying you have to watch it, you can free to watch whatever you want, but it kind of also, we can have some interaction with it. So sometimes when I sort of upload videos and there's no comments or no feedback, and it kind of gets lost. But sometimes when we kind of have dialogue about things, it kind of opens up more thought patterns, and it also kind of helps you retain that information, if or not you think it is information worth retaining, right? That is entirely up to you. Again, I'm telling you, not telling you you have to believe this and you have to be, oh yeah, Project Bluebeam's happening, it's going to come next week. I don't know that. But there's been a lot of suggestions and a lot of things that have been happening in recent years, you know, Space Force, Elon Musk, all of this could very well be part of the project that we've got. You know, why do we need a militarized defense space agency, right? Who are they defending us from? You know, supposedly the biggest threat to humans is other humans. So do they know something that we don't? And there was also, I've seen a couple of rumors I mentioned in the comment while we were watching those UFO sightings that Donald Trump, somebody saw a picture of Air Force One with a bunch of those triangular looking aircraft. Maybe they were B-2s. And rumours are that he's heading out to a bunker, and that's why he's saying he's got COVID, and even that, I don't even know where to start with that. And that is a batshit bizarre scenario all of its own. But as I said, guys, through the whole pandemic, there does seem to be a lot of seeding and a lot of subliminal seeding, and not so subliminal like you saw in if you caught the first part of this stream. The amount of articles that there are on the internet related to UFOs or to asteroids, and I'm not sure if that's like more articles than normal, but they kind of want us to know about stuff going on in the sky. They're not ramming it down our throats like the COVID rhetoric, but there is a lot of information out there. And if you do go back and watch the entire Bluebeam series that I've got, there's a lot of evidence within those. I'm trying to sort of get a little bit of promotion, get some interest for you guys maybe to watch those, and maybe for people that are new to the thrift store, which we did have a couple of those guys earlier, which is always a pleasure when we get new people. There's major asteroids daily. Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 of them last week, and we keep hearing about these. And is this just to kind of implant the idea of asteroids into our minds? And, you know, kind of now we have the retrospect and we look back at all the predictive programming for 9/11. The clues were there if we just knew how to decipher them, right? So this is what I'm saying. Are the clues there now? Is this what we're seeing? Are all these little videos that are circulating and popping up? And a lot of them are similar. Like I said, if you watch this entire playlist and all the Bluebeam stuff I've got, there are some similarities in quite a few of them, although not in all of them, but there's quite a few of the sort of dancing lights. There's quite a few of these shooting straight up in the sky kind of things. And again, are they releasing and leaking these videos and footage, this footage, so that it will get out to at least a subculture before it goes mainstream, right? And you sort of sometimes have to test the waters with a subculture to see if it sticks. And you know, am I sort of complying with that project by producing these videos? I don't know. But we live in manic times, and to go back to the Watchmen guys, the Watchmen is Bluebeam, pretty much, with the exception they don't kind of use holographic technology, they use teleportation technology. But it was all about creating a staged alien attack on Manhattan, killed 5 million people. But before the attack, the Russians and the Americans, it was set in the 1980s during Cold War, they were about to launch their entire nuclear arsenal at each other. And the whole event, everything had been orchestrated by the man at the top who came up with the plan, Ozymandias. He is the representation of the elites. He's got all the triangles, everything, the militarized industrial complex, and using the top scientists, the top research agencies, Hollywood directors, special effects teams. He created a portal, managed to open portals to other dimensions, a little bit like maybe CERN are trying to do right now. And using this portal, he's able to teleport a special effect monster. It wasn't a real monster, but there was a lot of other stuff going on with the scientist, and it was kind of empath, and it absorbed everyone's feelings or emotions. But anyway, they teleported this alien into the midst of New York hours before doomsday, before the world went to shit and before apocalypse broke out. So although we're not in a Cold War in this nuclear sense, we are in a Cold War with regards to the maskers and the anti-maskers. We're in a Cold War between the Trumpers and the non-Trumpers. We're do you know what I mean? There's a lot of civil unrest, there's a lot of divisions, and there's a lot of it's a hotbed in boiling point. There's riots and there's anarchy going on the streets, not just in North America, but around the globe. There's martial law in Australia, all this kind of chaos. And while people are in martial martial law, and while we're paying attention to the pandemic, the COVID crisis, hardly anyone is paying attention to anything else. A little bit like, we forgot all about the $2 trillion, was it $3 trillion? I don't know how many $1 trillion Donald Rumsfeld lost the day before 9/11, but everyone forgot about it afterwards, didn't even ask any questions, right? Salvation, yeah, I saw there's a lot, and good, I'm glad you reminded me, Laurie, there does seem to be a lot of not only sort of pandemic related content. I started watching a little something, I think it was a German or Belgian show that was also on Netflix or Amazon called Slow Birth or something like this, can't remember, but same thing. It's about a pandemic that breaks out on a very, very small island. I only watched about 40 minutes, so it's very hard because it was late at night and I had to watch with subtitles, so made the eyes go a little bit heavy, but I will check out Salvation. And that was that other movie, what was it that Gerard Butler was in? Was it Norway or something like that? I can't remember. There was a movie that was due to be released I actually started watching The Barrier the other week, Laurie, but same thing, it's all in Spanish, and for some reason the only subtitles because I don't use Netflix or any of these paid apps, I use a streaming app, and the subtitles were only in German, so I'm watching a foreign language movie with different foreign language subtitles. It didn't really help, although you can watch and see what's going on. Sometimes with stuff like that, you want to listen to what's the narrative to see if there are any clues in there. But there are a lot of shows going around that have that very similar content. And also, we started the last part of this, or what was going to be the entire show, but we had to do it in two parts because we did get shut down as we attempted to bring this to you previously. But we put I put a lot of the War of the Worlds references in there, and War of the Worlds is also something. There's at least 2 or 3 different versions or rebooted versions of War of the Worlds that have come out in the last couple of years. It's a shame Dari's gone, because I was going to show her. I actually had a little video, although it would be quite crude. I was going to sort of show my phone and show her the little bug. Actually, you know what? Let me show you it, because I'm a little bit. All right, so this is. That was that little clip that I made of the murder bug that I was going to show Daria, but she disappeared. Never mind, maybe she'll be back another day. Sometimes it happens, sometimes people only show up for once. What am I trying to do? That's right, get your comments back. It was crazy. Pandemic to keep us controlled while UFI's in and keep us. And again, very, very controlled, and also people are very, very, very afraid. And when people are afraid, even more fear on that, we almost, willing to do anything to be saved. Everybody, they really do need to watch that video, because I was just showing you, Laurie, that I still have in the jar parts of the murder hornet or whatever it was, and the head fell on the floor. I can't find it right now. That was a very weird thing, and it still isn't like decomposed, and like Nancy said, it's almost like kind of styrofoam, or kind of almost felt very similar to like the packaging chips. And you know, I did actually kind of throw it against the wall, which I should have recorded, and it's all just bounced off. It didn't show any sign of breaking up at all or anything. Very, very bizarre. I mean, I also put it up on the Facebook. I actually posted that short video onto my Facebook, but only 30 people have watched that video. And you know, it's hard to get information out when it stops at 30, right? So I don't know, guys, if or not you thought that was creepy or whatever. Please share it. Tell people that this stuff is real. And what's even more ironic about that is the fact that way back, another video that hardly anybody watched was my video on the murder hornets and the DARPA insect allies in the insect drones, which kind of I reiterated in that recent upload with this. And it's like, you know, is this the sentient world simulation providing me my own reality? I put out there, hey guys, you know, pay attention to these more murder hornets. There could be some link to DARPA in their insect drones. And then a few months later, what looks like an insect drone dies literally at my feet while I'm sat out and having a little smoke and a puff. But anyway, guys, what's we saying now? We've just gone over the hour now, so that's about 2 hours with the two streams together. But that was the weirdest thing that happened to me, I think, as a YouTube streamer and doing live, that all of a sudden just my stream stopped. So obviously I kind of got my I'm looking at the phone, and this is where I do all my streaming, all my app and everything. I press on the screen there, and all of a sudden it just kind of froze, and then boom, I was back to like the home screen, just shut the app down completely. And then moments after that, my computer just shut itself off, boom, and then the Google Chromecast turned itself off. So some bizarre stuff. And was that because I was trying to show this footage on YouTube? Did the Google algorithm get an alarm bell or red flag, and did they kind of covertly, in a virtual algorithmic way, send a SWAT team in to take me out? Hello to the one viewer on Twitch. I did notice that was it Cordial, you were chatting earlier in the previous stream during the middle of the presentation. I did try to type a couple of messages to you. I don't know if they showed up or not. I'm doing, as I said, this is the second stream, or the second time I've actually streamed simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch, and it was kind of because yesterday we had a surprisingly good response from the Twitch. Although it was only a couple of people, they still provided quite a lot of food for thought, and contributed greatly to the chat in the latter part of that. So do drop us a message or leave a comment or something if you are watching on Twitch, if that is you, Cordial, or maybe Eloy. That was the two guys, I think, or girls, I don't know exactly, but we did have a couple of viewers. I think we had 3 at one point, but earlier we were up to 15 up until the point that they shut me down, and there was even people that I've never even seen before getting involved with the chat, which is kind of nice, because that is really what I'm trying to do. As much as I love you guys and I'm happy making my videos, I do think that maybe, you know, there are a few more people out there that might take an interest in what I've got to say. If or not they pay attention and live their life by it, I'm not expecting that by any stretch of the imagination. But you know, I kind of notice a little bit sometimes on Facebook that there are YouTube videos being shared on, particularly on my Thrift Store Prepper Facebook. I see some of you guys that share other YouTuber videos, but I very rarely see anybody that shares mine. So not exactly tell you to share them. You know, I'm not one of those thumbs up, smash the bell, hit the like type of YouTubers. I do occasionally you know, ask for comments in the section below that don't ever seem to come, but never mind. As I said, guys, I am trying to sort of make things a little bit more presentable, maybe take a little bit more pride and effort into my my productions than I once did, and mainly because this gives me something to do. You know, today putting this presentation together kept me occupied for most of the afternoon. Before I knew it, I was like, oh wow, my goodness, I haven't even smoked for a couple of hours, dang. So that's what I'm trying to do, is sort of occupy myself. I don't have a job at the minute. I'm still very depressed. PTSD is kicked in overdrive due to the sort of, you know, news of my dad passing away a little while ago. And each and every day I kind of do deal with a certain degree of anxiety. Some days it's unbearable, some days it's manageable. But yesterday the stream kind of went very, very well, and even doing my preparation a little bit Friday before the stream went to shit kept me occupied, and I sort of I'm quite impressed with what I've done with this presentation, and then only for it to fail miserably was a little bit heartbreaking, but I salvaged some of that stuff, and yesterday was a really, really good stream, and it kind of encouraged me to want to do it again. So that's what I did. I threw together a little Bluebeam episode, a stream for you today, put together a little presentation. We did have a few people on Twitch, and we actually did have more people than we have had watching the stream before we got shut down in a long, long time. There's hundreds of thousands of birds dropped out of the sky in US Southwest. Again, this could be to do with the electromagnetic frequencies. And I think in one of the Bluebeam videos I mentioned Project Blue Book, which was another series that kind of come out recently on the History Channel that is promoting the alien agenda, and it's sort of based on, it's a little bit like the X-Files, and when the show, the Blue Book show started, said, you know, this is based on true events and real people, and it was back in the 50s, just after the war, and at the sort of start and the dawn of kind of the UFO sightings. It was about the government, I think it was the FBI. They developed the Blue Book department, and they went out to really investigate UFO reports, and then kind of somehow try to pass them off with some natural occurrence. Welcome John 222. Love listening, always jumping around for info, much love. Well, hopefully you picked up a little bit of info here, and if not, you want to pass that information on with other friends of yours. It may be is it Johnny or Joni, like Joni Mitchell, or Joni Loves Chachi? But yeah, what was I just saying? I fucking got, I had a little bit of a brain fart then. I always get excited when I see new people and new people commenting, and kind of, again, that's what I was saying, we're trying to attract a few more newbies to the thrift store. That's why I've tried to sort of make things look a little bit more nicer and a little bit sleeker perhaps. We're not going to go out as far as to say we are going to go all out professional, but with a lack of a job at the moment, I am kind of treating this as my job in terms of giving me something to do each and every day, as opposed to just kind of staring at the walls and getting fear-mongered, or maybe brainwashed by COVID propaganda, or being buzzed with the electromagnetic frequencies. That's what I remembered. The electromagnetic series, exactly. No, it wasn't Ancient Aliens, Laurie, it was Project Blue Book. And Blue Book kind of preceded Bluebeam, I believe. But anyway, Project Blue Book is about the FBI's department that used to go out and do research into UFOs and unknown phenomenon kind of thing, unexplained phenomenon. And I think it's got 2 series now. I think the 3rd one might even be due to be released shortly, and it is based on true real life events, and each and every week there's a different report from the Project Blue Book. But one episode in particular was about birds. In starlings, it was, I believe, was the birds, and they went to research as to why all these birds had been falling out of the sky. And these researchers, the agents, went down there to kind of observe and see what was going on. And when the observers went to the site that the birds were kind of falling out of the sky and dying, they got very angry with each other and started fighting. And then they figured out that it was electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs. that were being pumped into that area, and the birds, when they were flying in their swarms, when they hit that area where the electromagnetic frequencies were being used, then the birds turned violent on one another. And the purpose for this technology was, back then, was that they could deploy it within enemy territory, and then the enemy would start killing each other, right, rather than having to send their own troops in. And another part of the Project Bluebeam is that once the holographic technology is in place and up and running, then they will intensify that with the electromagnetic frequencies to reinforce what you're seeing is real. And again, we kind of did a little segment in the previous stream about tonight's show and tonight's topic on Project Bluebeam about good old 9/11, because it's still a little bit recent after the 19th year anniversary. And I actually do believe that there was some drill practice dummy run for Project Bluebeam involved in 9/11. The directed energy weaponry, the holographic planes, all of this could have been, let's give it a little bit of a test run. Just like kind of Oklahoma City was a test run leading up for 9/11. Can we get away? Can we take out a big high profile building with this explosives? Maybe they didn't take enough out at the time with the U-Haul and Timothy McVeigh's bomb, although he wasn't the bomber. He was in fact a black ops CIA agent that had been sheep dipped out of the military and inserted as part of Operation PACCOM, Patriot Conspiracy, where the agency did kind of take sheep dip a lot of top ranking and high performing military personnel, put them through the process of being discharged from the military and then kind of making them look as though they had a civilian life, and within their civilian life they kind of had the appearance that they had given up on the military, and they got very disgruntled about it, and then started to infiltrate militias in particular. In PACCOM can be associated and tied to Ruby Ridge, to Waco, and to Oklahoma City. But discussing them, that they use it on people. But was 9/11 a dummy run for Project Bluebeam? Did they test out a little bit of their technology that day, and was it like, whoa, this worked well, we can really do something with this? Now we realize that we can take down buildings. And the other reason was sort of I used War of the Worlds as a starting point, because the Martians in War of the Worlds had a heat ray that wiped everybody out. Actually, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can oh, hang on my device. Can you still see me? Yeah, I guess you can, right? Here it is. That was the noise of the heat ray. Do you want to hear it again? So, was 9/11 the DWs, were they practicing the heat ray? Going back to the Lebanon and Beirut bombings around that time of year, it was early June, I believe. Was it around the 6th of June? I think there was some 6/6 something going on with the numerology. There was also a whole lot of other explosions around the globe at the same time. I think there's a couple out in Russia, maybe one out in Asia, either East, like East Indians or sort of Vietnam, Laosy kind of area, I think, if I can remember rightly. But a lot of those explosions looked very, very, very similar. They kind of had that sort of ring that expanded, sort of, that followed the shock wave. And the one in Lebanon was reported that there was a fireworks factory. Now, it's very interesting. Another Alan Moore piece of literature, something that I keep telling you about, that you should read and not like pay attention to memes that may have been circulated, especially if you watched yesterday's memological warfare live stream. But in V for Vendetta, at the beginning of the book, when V blows up the Old Bailey, is it the Old Bailey? Or how it's either in the movie or the book. It's the Old Bailey. I should get it out. But in the beginning, he carries out the explosion that blows up one of the government buildings. I can't remember right now at the off the top of my head if it was the Old Bailey or the Houses of Parliament. It was one or the other. And he sort of, when he blew it up in the start of the book, he said that in 1 year I'm going to blow up either the Houses of Parliament or the Old Bailey, because they were the sort of the representation of government and the representation of the law and justice, right? So there was no law, there's no justice. It was fascist, totalitarian. So he took out the laws and he said, in 1 year I'm going to take out the government, picking up the Guy Fawkes plot, the original terrorist back in the 1600s. You should probably do a video on the Guy Fawkes and gunpowder plots. That was one of the original false flag inside jobs. But anyway, that's what V for Vendetta does. And when he carries out the explosion at the beginning of the story, the aftermath of that, the government and the news are telling them, oh, and it happened to be a controlled demolition, but there were some fireworks left in the building from its previous occupancy that used to be a fireworks factory, right? So they use the fireworks factory explosion for the reason that this building blew up and exploded. And that is what they said in Lebanon, that it was a fucking firework factory. Well, that's a pretty big fucking cherry bomb to take out 13-mile segment of a huge metropolis city like Beirut, although I don't know if it's quite as metropolitic as Toronto or New York, perhaps. Maybe we could, but I'm not sure how reading books, if not, that would fall into some kind of copyright strike, because you know you've got with audio books and stuff. Can you still hear me okay, guys? You still hear me good? Let's hope so. But yeah, that would be a good idea, because I've got another good book here. I kind of keep starting but never get to finish for some reason. Fascinating book. Supposedly it's fiction, but it explains almost all conspiracies up to a certain date in time. And I've been meaning, I keep starting to read it and then I put it down, and then months go by and I'm like, you know what, let's start it again. And I read a few pages, put it down, don't get back to it. But maybe that might be something to do now I've got time in my hands. Read that in maybe, yeah, book club. Might be a good idea, but that's a little bit of what I'm kind of trying to do. Maybe not book club, but trying to sort of incorporate some content in these live shows and get away from kind of the shows about nothing, and maybe just, you know, sort of titillating viewers who like the way I sound more than who are tuning in to actually maybe gain some information or learn a thing or two, or get some stimulation to the mind. It's called the Illuminatus trilogy, and there's 3 books in the series, and it's by, where's the guy's name? I forget. I'm shit with names. Robert Shea and Robert Anton Wilson. And the other interesting thing is that the main character in this book is called Saul Goodman, just like in Breaking Bad. If baseball can have a designated hitter, why can't science fiction have a designated underground classic? Well, apparently it can, and Illuminatus is its name. So it's a very highly acclaimed book. And sadly, as I've got older in years, my eyes has got a little bit shit and I start squinting, and I do need to get some reading glasses, which is probably another reason why I kind of end up putting it down. Daria! Oh my goodness! You remember you were talking about the insects? I found one. Oh, now I've dropped it. Alright. There was part of a drone, or a very, very weird grasshopper that I found on my front lawn last week. I did just show a video, but you weren't here to watch, and wouldn't you just go and know it when you come back? Actually, you know what? I'm going to try and show you again. Don't go anywhere, Daria. Sorry for those. I'm going to do this in a very, very crude manner. wings. They've been very rigid, very rigid. And this feels like plastic or paper. Let's check this out. So anyway, my arm was getting heavy. You get the gist. You can watch the rest of or longer video on my channel. I uploaded it a couple of days. But you're referring about like nano technology, this kind of the size of like a pinhead or even smaller that can be absorbed through the particles of your skin. This is kind of a little bit like the black goo. That's something that is sort of featured in quite a few movies and stuff in the past. Well, there, I did pull it apart. Watch the video, Daria, because I do at the end pull it to pieces, and it's hollow. There's like no insides. This has been dead, or I found it on like 9 days ago, nearly 10 days ago now, and although like it is in pieces, there's no sign of decomposition, right? It hasn't decayed or anything whatsoever. It was about kind of that long. And something I've noticed an awful lot over the summer was an awful large amount of flying bugs. Sorry, should I plug the microphone back in? A hell of a lot of flying bugs. More than normal. You know, I've been in like Canada for 9 years nearly, and I've never seen the amount of flying big bugs like dragonflies and these other kind of sort of like not hornets, I don't even know, very long things with like big wings. And one time there was another one out the yard not far from where I found this one, but it was black and very, very thin. And I was actually chatting to the young dude that lives in the back of the building, in the apartment upstairs at the back of the place. He was throwing out some garbage, and I said, "Look at that weird ass fucking insect." And I started talking about DARPA insect drones, and I said, "I wonder if I can catch it." And I went to try and catch it. I mean, I didn't have my phone at the time. It was in the summer. I was in my shorts suntanning. But this drone, it didn't like fly like an insect. It was like, bzz, bzz. You know how drones kind of do? They kind of have that sort of ness about them. I'm trying to do a little bit of robotics. But yeah, there you go. The mic, is the mic better? The mic. Thank you for that, Laurie. I do like to think I have a playlist. It used to be even more great before I had to censor myself and before YouTube started coming after me with all sorts of various community standards, community strikes, copyright infringements, yada yada, whoop-de-woo, array-tay-tay. They shadow ban and passive censor the shit out of me. But the nanotechnology, yes, I do know what you mean. Kind of, they can send out like a dust particle sort of swarm, but it's very, 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 very tiny nanobots. Then kind of they have a hive mind of themselves, and they can connect with each other via Wi-Fi. And this is again what I've putting out all these high frequency 5Gs. It's not to fucking fry us. It's to power the technology that they need to control us. And maybe 5G is also being used, will be the power that they use to fuel Project Bluebeam when it happens. You'd imagine if they're going to have a lot of holographic technology, which they probably maybe didn't have that capacity, or maybe they did in the time of 9/11, but maybe they didn't have enough power to kind of keep the projections of the planes there for as long as they needed to, because there's a lot of footage to support that there were no planes on 9/11, and I'm a very big no planer. start off each video with things is for entertaining week. I'm not sure I understand so much what you mean there. Flying like a drone, yeah, the bug was definitely flying a road. Start off each, well, I've sort of tried to do a little bit of sort of improvements and tweaking to my videos, and I don't know if or not it's made any improvement or done anything sort of any dramatic change to how people perceive or watch or enjoy this. Make you feel weird, they watching us with bugs, yeah. That's very much what I thought. Like, I was looking around like, this is it. This is the fucking drones. They are surveilling us. They could be listening to us. But it's very, very disturbing the fact that sort of as I got close to it, it's like it's moved straight away, and I wasn't even like close enough. Like sometimes you can get quite close to bugs before they get startled and disappeared. And it was almost like, was this one listening and was it watching? And when I was sort of getting nearer, it's like, okay, we must go. Oh, saying for entertainment, I got you. Yeah, like kind of the disclaimer in Freedom of Information Act, and we're using this for non-profit reasons and things. I got you. Sorry, I wasn't following on a little bit then. And another sort of part of the reason why I'm sort of pre-recording some of the content for live shows, because as I said, I'm not in a very best state of mind at the minute, due to the sort of depression and PTSD. 1 minute I can be thinking about Project Bluebeam, and then 3 hours later I realized I've just been staring at the wall. But yeah, Nancy, you saw that, the where we go one, we go all. If you look at it, the NWO is there. Can I get that up here maybe? Hold on. Did I record it or copy it? No, sadly I didn't. I was going to show you that. But yeah, in where you go one, you go all. NWO is right there in the middle. NWO, New World Order. Everyone didn't get... Hey Q, you're back. Welcome buddy. Everyone didn't get notified. No, they don't want you watching my videos, Shawnee. Nobody wants you to watch my videos. YouTube doesn't want you to watch my videos. Google doesn't want you to watch my videos. And the statistics, if I should believe them, are very, very disappointing. But keep on keeping on. It's better to reach 1 or 2 people than to reach no people. And if or not any of this information, as I said, does resonate with you and has been informative, then please share it, or maybe send some fellow people that are like-minded this way, because it'd be great to grow the thrift plan. So again, salute you, Q, for your service, Q John Q. And if you've got lots and lots of stories, and as you just said also, Daria, that we should talk somewhat. Definitely, I love getting information. This is kind of how the information spreads, and this is kind of a little bit of the purpose of the internet in the first day, was to spread information from person to person and be able to share information. But in a day and age now, it's sort of like, if you're trying to, I don't know, people are trying to compete with each other. People always want that one-upmanship, and sort of the truth community can be a bit, you know, anal, and these kind of little bit like comic book nerds and things. They get very uptight in their beliefs or ideology. But we are, you know, all I'm trying to do is bring some information and bring some of the observations that I've been seeing, and maybe some other people, well, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I've been seeing these things, and until now I didn't know. And again, that's why I make these videos. I hope somebody else is seeing this stuff with me, so it's like, okay, I'm not the only one, right? You know what I'm saying? But Q, Daria, please, if you've enjoyed this stream tonight, and if it was, you know, this stream that particularly drew you to the thrift store this evening because of the Bluebeam stuff, do check out my Bluebeam playlist. I've got at least 8, maybe even 9 hours of content on there from this summer. All the activities that's been going on in the sky and above. But what are we? Oh my goodness, we're over the 1 hour 30 mark now. Yeah, well, I mean, as I said, it's now that we all need to be start being more excellent to each other instead of being more divided. You know, and even as much as I hate the lockdown, I don't really like masks and all this stuff. I kind of, you know, I'm not going to go out of my way to start hurting people or screaming at people or yelling at people to take their mask off just because I don't want to wear them. If that makes them feel better, that's up to them. A little bit, you know, like, I don't really care if you're religious or if you're not religious. I'm not a religious person. You know, I'm an atheist. I was a former illegal immigrant in the United States, yet surprisingly, I show a lot of people who may be a little bit against illegal immigration in the United States, should we say. I've taught them a thing or two about their nation and their government and how it works, and I've also taught a few Texans some prepping tips, which is quite remarkable really. In my sort of Britishness and coming from across the pond, I thought if anyone would be prepped up, it would be Texas. Right, but anyway, sharing information is what it's all about. Learning from each other, and you know, and to gain a greater perspective, one must observe the whole picture, and sometimes just two pairs of eyes can't see it all. In grey man mentality, and this is kind of, I was going to do a whole episode about football hooligans, in particular what we refer to as casual or incognito, and maybe you see these shoes behind me here, and these shoes are because of that subculture that I lived in. Now, back in the 1970s, I know you guys are all probably North American and may not know about European football hooligans, and the reason I want to do a whole show about it, because in the United Kingdom under Maggie Thatcher, football hooligans become criminalised just by association, whether you're a hooligan or not a hooligan. You just wanted to go and watch the game, or if you wanted to get drunk and have a fight, didn't matter. We were all criminalised. We had to be carded. If you wanted to go and watch football in England, you had to have a card. You had to go and register with your local club. There were cameras on every corner of every stadium. There were cameras everywhere outside of the stadium. The police were surveilling you with VHS at the time. So we were an example of a police state. They needed a demograph to dummy run on, and there was in the 1980s several incidences within or that involved English clubs, two of which were Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in England, that the Freemasons had some involvement in causing tragedies and disasters at soccer games. In 1985, there was a fire at a team called Bradford City. During the midst of the game, a fire burst out in the stadium in one of the stands, and I think 56 people died that day. And then in 1989, there was the Hillsborough incident when 96 fans were crushed to death. And what they did in a sort of deterrent to stop football hooligans fighting and causing a muck in the stadiums is they built cages, literally put us in cages. But once upon a time, football hooligans had a uniform, and usually you'd wear a hat and a scarf, like a bobble hat or a beanie hat and a woolen scarf with your team's colours or with your team's name on. You'd probably wear like maybe wristbands or like a badge or a pin. You'd wear your colours, and you display the name of your team. But when the police started video cameraing and started surveilling football supporters, we still wanted to go to the game, but we had to get round being detected by what we used to call the old bill, or the filth, or the police, as you might know. So casual culture was what was developed, and casual culture is basically grey man culture, or grey man tactics. So what we'd do on a Saturday afternoon, instead of putting your hat and your scarf on and your bother boots and go into the game dressed as a hooligan, you'd go out and you'd buy yourself a very expensive piece of sports leisure wear, like maybe a Sergio Tacchini tracksuit, or a Fila tracksuit, or some very expensive Adidas or Diodora shoes, and you'd wear some very expensive designer jeans, and everything about you would be bling bling. It'd be all expensive designer clothes, and you'd look the exact opposite what a football hooligan was. So on match day, the police were looking for bobble hats and scarves, and you're walking with your newspaper and your flashy tracksuit top. The police didn't bat an eyelid at you, and we used to stop going to the bars and pubs that we used to drink and frequent. We used to have code words, little signals, and all sorts of stuff that we used to do before cell phones and stuff, to avoid the police stopping us doing what we wanted to do. And casual culture to this day still exists, although it's kind of contradicts itself, because casual culture, you're more identified as being a hooligan by the brands of clothes that you wear than if you didn't. It's kind of sort of 180'd on itself. Casual culture is more identifiable now than what it used to be, but casual and incognito is what we'd call ourselves, and we'd go very, very, very you know, like I say, flashy, wear nothing that would associate us to anything remotely football. And I forgot what I was going to say then. I had something else, but grey man philosophy is, you know, that's kind of a little bit of why maybe, you know, I went to live illegally in the United States, because when you're not in the system, when you don't have a social insurance number, or whether you don't have a national insurance number or a social insurance number, then you're not in the system. They can't tax you. If you don't have a bank account, debit card, credit card, phone bill, utilities, any of these things, they can't track you. Now, I do have a phone bill, I do have a YouTube account, I do have a Facebook account, but other than that, nothing. I have no outstanding standing orders, I have no bank account, no credit card, no debt, nothing. Nobody knows I'm, you know, and this is hiding in plain sight. But yeah, being a football hooligan back then, it was the time of my life. We had a great fun going on the road, and not only having scuffles and shenanigans with rival supporters, it was sometimes more fun having it with the law enforcement that were there to patrol us. But anyway, as I said, we were also used as a demograph for how to kind of conduct a police state, how to target individuals, and there was even a football hooligan registry in the United Kingdom, and there was even a division of the police force that was all they did. They delivered with football-related hooliganism and crimes. And sometimes, you know, once the surveillance come in, even once you were a little bit casualed up and hidden, sooner or later the surveillance cameras would catch you. And once they identified you, we used to get what was called the dawn raids. And then usually on a Monday morning around 5:30 in the morning, if you'd been naughty on Saturday at the game, the old Bill would come and kick your door down and drag you off for a couple of days and charge you. And I actually am a registered, bona fide registered offender. I was actually a 2-strike registered offender and a 3rd-strike football hooligan. You will get a custodial sentence. The United Kingdom isn't so much like it is in England in terms of sending people to jail, but that is why I kind of left England, or part of the reason I went and left England. The other reason was to go to California, be in a climate that was nice, warm and sunny. And as I said, for 14 years I have lived, for 14 years, for 12 years I have lived without a single piece of identification. Okay, well, you take care, Daria, if you're leaving. Did Shawnee leave? I did see she popped in. I don't know if she was leaving in. I'll tuck my honey in, and I'll take about 2 hours to catch up on my research. But anyway, where are we at now? Nearly 1 hour 40 minutes. But that was a little bit of grey man stuff for you, and as I said, I might even go a little bit further and do a live special dedicated to football hooliganism tactics. Because not only that, we used to know how to make weapons out of newspapers, and even to this day I still carry one, our weapon of choice. You call them a box cutter over here, but in our day back in England, we used to call these a Stanley blade, because they used to be made by the Stanley. And to this day I carry one, usually in my pocket, or close by. You never know when you might need it, and just intimidation factor alone, unless you go up against sort of a Marine or someone that's a little bit martial arts trained perhaps, but your average punk on the street who's trying to mug you, maybe, if you pull a knife on and go, you want to go, buddy? You call their bluff, you'll be surprised how much intimidation a box cutter will do. But that was our weapon of choice. We also sometimes take darts, get a handful of darts and just throw them in the direction of the away fans. Yeah, it is, and we've actually got a few Thrift fan members actually that do have some illnesses and disabilities they have to overcome, or loved ones with as such. So yeah, all the best to you, and you know, it is a thankless task sometimes. So blessings in light and warmth to you, Darian. It's very, very glad that again you swung by the thrift store tonight, as it was for Q. But as I said, guys, if you do want to reach out, I do have an email, thethriftstoreprepper@gmail.com, all one word, all lowercase, thethriftstoreprepper. Always glad to hear from viewers, and certainly fellow researchers. If any guys, you know, you have some information on DARPA nanotechnology and stuff like that, let me know, because I do truly believe that this whole COVID virus and the divisions of civilization and maskers and not maskers, a lot of this division is the result of electromagnetic frequencies in memological warfare, as we put together yesterday. But anyway, let's wrap this up, guys. We're nearly at the 1 hour 45 minutes, because I'm starting to get a little bit my mind's not staying as focused as it should be, and when I kind of get to that state, I kind of need to sort of stop, maybe have a smoke, regroup, and I also do need to eat something. What is the time now? Nearly, dang, it's gone midnight. So I think nearly with the 2 streams, we've gone close to 3 hours tonight. So we've done a lot of streaming in the last few days. It's all kind of a little bit good to get back into the swing of things. As I said, I've been a bit down in the dumps, not feeling myself or very good about things lately. But yesterday and tonight, we've had a great stream, even though we haven't had that many viewers this second time round. But earlier, before we did get shut down, having 15 people, that's more viewers than we've had watching live in a long time. And I don't even know where any of the admins are tonight. I haven't seen or heard from them since Friday, when the other stream went to shit. Maybe they've got Facebook bans or something. I don't know. A lot of people got Facebook bans and got sent to jail as a result of the new amendments recently. But we did get a little bit, I think, off topic from Project Bluebeam, which we did kind of start out with this evening. But we did cover a lot of Bluebeam stuff, and hopefully you guys that did watch it in its entirety, or over these 2 streams, you enjoyed that presentation that I put together, and hopefully you guys are kind of liking the all-new TSP live show experience, although I'm not sure every single one will be like this. But I do have a little bit of an incentive